Hello. Who's ready to solve the mystery? I'm gonna check and see if I'm coming in okay. I've got some dogs in the house. Let me share this to my group. I think she just snarled at me. Hey, Liz. Help me solve the mystery. I think I should have cleaned my glasses because either that's because I have a glare. looking in my bottom eyes. Help me solve the mystery. Okay. My room's still clean. My fancy cup that Char got me. Actually, I had her made it. So, hello. It is 7:01. We are about to get started with some mystery stamping. Char, I just love my cup. Okay. For those that are tuning in and it's your first time, I am Becca with Becca's Creation, and I come to you every second Monday of the month, and I provide clues the Friday before, and we will solve the mystery. So today I am playing with the Charming Day bundle. This is an online exclusive set, and I really like the flowers on it. So this is a bundle. Let me see. These are the dies. So quite a few dies. So we're going to play with this stamp set. And we are going to, what else are we going to use? My DSP, I'm using Floral Delight. So my colors are Daffodil Delight, Pool Party, and then we're going to use some blending pens. So who's ready to get started? I've got 5s down here. Okay. All right, I am going to go ahead and get started, and bear with me. I have a new device, so let's see if this transitions over a lot easier. So hold on just a minute. I might have to stand up. Sorry. Big old face shot there. Okay. Let me bring this down. Let's make sure the cord's out of the way, you know, all that handy dandy stuff. Okay. Can you hear me okay? Echo is, I'm not sure where Echo's at. He got a hold of something. Of course he did, right? He wouldn't be Echo if he didn't. Okay. All right. I'm just making sure I have a really good line of sight. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So the clues were sent out on Friday, and again we are working with the Charming Day set. Let me turn off that. Actually, you know what? Let me see if this stops the glare. Here. Okay, I've got a light right here, so let me see if that helps. Nope. It's the Ring of Fire. Okay, so we're going to use the Charming Day stamp set. And let's see, we have a 5.5 by 8.5. I'm going to turn off this light because it's bothering me. Okay. We're going to, this is measuring, it's a colored cardstock. I decided to go neutral, so we are using our basic white, and this measures at, again, it's measuring at 5.5 by 8.5. You're going to score this at 4 1/4, and then we're going to cut 2 1/8 off. So let me get my cutter. And this thing is upside down. All right, we are cutting. So what I'm doing is I'm going to cut, let me get my sticky note off. I am going to cut, so this is going to be the front of our card, right? But I want to cut about, hi Joy, thanks for tuning in. I'm going to cut 2 1/8 off. So I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to just trim that off, just save it for one of your scraps. The other way that you could do it is just fold it in half and just bring it over. We've done this particular fold before, so, but I'm choosing to cut this piece off. So I'm going to set that off to the side. And then you needed a colored cardstock, so I am using Daffodil Delight. And actually, you know what? I think originally it had, let me see. Originally, your DSP should have been the 5 1/4 by 4. But when I was putting this card together, I decided that because of the white on white, I wanted to break up those colors. So I decided to add a Daffodil Delight. So this is 5 1/4 by 4. And then you're going to come in with your DSP at 5 3 3/4. So I'm going to go ahead and glue those two pieces down. Again, this is using the Floral Delight DSP. And all right, glue that down. Oh, that, if you heard that, that was my stomach, but I promise you I am not hungry. I made broccoli beef. I was supposed to make schnitzel, but I forgot I was going live and I didn't want to rush, so yeah, so I made broccoli beef instead. Okay. Then we have a colored cardstock. I'm using Pool Party. The measurement is 5 1/2 by 4. Score that in 2 5/8. And you know, y'all, I just realized that I have already started assembling and I normally just go over the clues first. So let me go back. So we'll do this. So you're going to have a 5 1/2 by 4, score that at 2 5/8, which I already did. And make sure you get your bone folder. And then you're also going to need a DSP, but I've decided to use a colored cardstock, which is Daffodil Delight, and I'm going to make my own DSP. So this piece here measures at 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And then you need 2 pieces of either neutral or white, 2 pieces measuring at 2 3/8 by 3 3/4. So that's your 2. You can use either a neutral or a white. So, all right, that's actually going to go, one of these are going to go on the inside here. I know, isn't it? It's so pretty. Miss Shar, she hooked me up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and glue one of my white in here. Okay, I'm going to set that off to the side, and then I'm going to get my 2 pieces. Remember, this was supposed to be a DSP, but I am going to stamp I'm going to create my own DSP. So that's the good thing about this. And then here is going to be the front of my card. So I need some stamping here. So I'm going to use this big flower from the Charming Day set. And I'm going to stamp that in the corner of there. But you know, before I do that, this is going to be a birthday card. So it does have a very pretty script, happy birthday. And I'm going to stamp that first before I stamp the flower. My Memento is very juicy. Juicy. Okay, let me see if this is on. I always like to stamp. Let's see. Stamp on a scrap paper. to ensure, especially since this isn't a clear stamp. All right, I want to stamp that. First try. Almost got it off, but that's okay. All right, so now I'm going to come back in with my bigger stamp. A bigger stamp. And I am going to, I don't even know what kind of flower. If you guys are into flowers, let me know what is this, a rose? You would think I would know. All right, I saw pretty. Okay, and so here, there's two ways to do this. If you don't have a Daffodil Delight ink pad, you can do one of two. You can either use the ink to put your stamped image on, or you can use Versamark. So I'm going to show you what it looks like with the Versamark. So it just goes a little shade darker than what the cardstock color is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try now what it looks like with the Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to randomly stamp my image. All over this piece right here. Again, I am creating my own DSP paper. And instead of going with the Versamark, I am using the Daffodil ink that coordinates with this paper. So I want to stamp some, and then we're going to do this. So let me do a side-by-side comparison. So the right side is the side using the Daffodil ink, and then the left side is using the Versamark. So it's just a little bit lighter. So subtle, if you want to go a little bit darker, I would use the ink. Subtle, I would go with the Versamark. Cool, isn't it? That was one of the coolest techniques I was shown when I started stamping. Okay, let me close this up real quick. We are going to take this and we're going to go ahead and glue that piece down. And I need to do some coloring. I pulled out some blenders. One thing you might not know about me, but I prefer blenders over watercolors. I'm not one for watercoloring. I don't have enough patience for it. Okay, so I'm going to go with Old Olive. So I start with the light. I don't know why. It's just that's what I feel comfortable with. So I start with the light. I know some people prefer to go with the dark, but to each their own. I'm going to use that. Okay, and then so I'm just going to do some shading here. I like to use a bold tip when I'm filling in large areas. That way the brush tip, I save it. Who knew that I was going to color when I became an adult? Who finds it relaxing? Okay, so now I'm going to come in with the darker blender pen, the Old Olive, and I'm just going to focus. Oh, look how bad that tip is. That was used very good. All right, I'm going to go back in the bold, and I'm just going to go in. I'm just going to do some shading. Let me use the lines. I found sometimes that if I do dots, dot, 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 it kind of, I don't know, makes it blend. I don't know. What am I trying to say? You guys still with me? So this is like off topic, but yes, I watch, sometimes I'm on TikTok, and this little girl popped up in my feed, and she's from Ireland. I'm not sure what age she is, but she calls her, oh gosh, what does she call her dad? Jimmy Boy. So she always starts off her videos with, "Hello, my lovelies. Say hello, Jimmy Boy." Do you guys know who I'm talking about? I don't know why, but I could just sit there and listen to her accent all the time. I was just like, okay, let me see what new reels she's got. But she's just the cutest little thing from Ireland. She's like, "Hello." It's her dad, but she calls him Jimmy Boy. And she tells the story of why she calls him Jimmy Boy. But I've slept since then, so I couldn't tell you why she calls him Jimmy Boy. But she's like, "Hello, my lovelies. Say hello, Jimmy Boy." Do I sound Irish? No. Yeah, I didn't think so. Okay. So I'm going back over with the light, and just to give it that shading. That's the good thing about these blenders, is you can go as dark or, well, I say as dark or as light, but that's why I start with the light first. Okay, so there's my green. I'm going to go in with my Daffodil Delight, because it's so delightful. All right, and I'm just going to color this really quickly, because it's late. And who wants to stay up? Actually, I was in my room all day. It rained here. It rained and thundered, and so the dogs hung out with me. Well, some of them. Artemis, she's my 5. Well, she'll be 5 in November. She's a big old scaredy cat. All right. That's not the best colorful. Okay, I'm going to come back in with the dark now. But I'm going to... The first card that I did with this, I used Wink of Stella. And I don't know what it is about this flower, but when I added the Wink of Stella, it just made it look even prettier. I was like, that's my artwork. Am I breathing too heavy? Are you guys still with me? Okay. So if you're new to my page, I do mystery stamping once a month, if it allows it. And I normally send out the clues the Friday before. Or in this month's case, it was Sunday, because I don't know what happened, but something happened. Okay, so in Liz true fashion, she loves her some Wink of Stella. So I am going to add some Wink of Stella, because I know if I don't, she's going to be like, "Hey, Becca, where's that Wink of Stella at?" So it's so bad that my ladies in my classes, I now just put a Wink of Stella in their little container. So they have some if they choose to accent their pretty little cards. Because, you know, we're always doing something that requires glitter. You guys, thanks, Liz, for staying in. All right, I just want to focus on this little piece. I know, her loves her some glitter. 5's just left me. Okay. I don't know if you can see that at an angle. Anyways, that's as good as it's going to get. Okay, so remember that blue card, the pool party? So now I'm going to glue that onto here. And I have to say, there's no ribbon on here, but I did add some embellishments, because, you know, you gotta have some embellishments. Okay. Oop, I got something in my eye. I know they are pretty flowers, are they not? Are they roses? Can somebody tell me if these are roses? I should check. You know what? Hold on. Let me see if they are charming. If I go to the website, if it tells me what kind of flower they are. No, it doesn't say. Oh, stinky poo. I thought it would tell me. Okay, back to the scheduling program. So now what I'm going to do is I want this piece to center on my card. So what I'm going to do is put some glue here because this allows me to move it around. Hi, Stampin' Cardinal. Looks like a rose. That's what I thought. I thought it was a rose. Okay, so I'm going to center this on here. I always like to use my bone folder when I use glue. That way it evens it out. And you know, if you wanted to, there is, you've got, I just think it'll be too big. What do you think? I think, because I can hear Liz now. Glitter does make everything better. I can hear Liz now. Used to use that one. So, you know what? Let me see. Oh, I wish I would have. Oh, you know what? Let me look. See? I'm deviating away from the card. I'm going to see if I can maybe. Yeah, I'll do that. Look at me stamping the inside of a card. I normally leave that to Liz and the girls. All right, I'm going to stamp that. Fancy. Should I color it? I probably should color it, huh? Should I color it real quick? Let me color it real quick because, you know. Oh, I got to expire this set here. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate it. All right. I'm going to come back in with the dark, and I'm just going to do dot, 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 dot. Dot, 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 dot. It's, my tips are a little bit. Why did I know that you were going to say that, Shar? I was waiting for Liz to chime in. This is actually giving almost magnolia, the flower. This one in particular. I love me magnolia. It reminds me of my dad. All right. I think. What do you think? Much better. Okay. So there's that. I am going to add these pretty little. Google says it's a rose. Thank you, Liz and Google. These are low profile sparkle light dots. They are new. And I love that you've got your blues, your greens, and your yellows. So we are going to add our embellishments to, where's my take your pick? My fancy dancy take your pick. I think Shar thinks that I forget my name. So she puts my name on everything. Actually, isn't that the southern, down south, they put their name on everything? I think so. Oh, there's Echo. Do you hear your boy? He's breathing heavy. Oh, I've got an audience. You guys coming in to say hi? Huh? All right. So there's the card that I just did. And this is the card that I originally did. Now I want to show you. So the one on the left side is the one using the Versamark. And then this one, I use the Daffodil ink. So I would do, as earlier I said, if you want to go for a more subtle, lighter, hey Sonia, color, I would definitely do Versamark. But the Daffodil, when you use the ink to the paper, it actually brightens that up. So it just depends on what you're going for. But I just love how this turned out. So let me know what you think, and I'm gonna let me see if I can flip over really quick. Okay, let me flip over. Okay, so if you take the clues that I provided and share those or create your own card, please share. I'd love to see how you create your your card, the different variations of them. So, Fives, you want to say hi? Just like my home signs. Yep. So, okay. So, I am a collector. I love Disney. If you don't know that about me, and I also used to collect Ray Dunn, and I still do, but I have so many pieces of Ray Dunn that I haven't gotten a piece in a long time. So my son, he'll be 22 in October, says, "Mom, you don't have to worry about when you get Alzheimer's because everything is named, or it has words on it." So yeah, he thinks he's funny. I don't think he's funny, but okay. So let me shoot you down real quick so you can see the puppers. See the puppers. Fives. There's Fives. And then let me turn you over. And Mama, Artemis. Hi. You want to say hi? Hi. Can you see her? No? Oh, there she is. It's really hot out, and they are Alaskan Malamutes, so they prefer to stay indoors where it's air conditioned. So, funny story, where she's laying at right now, there's a vent, and my husband came in last night, and he's like, "Why is it so hot in here?" And I said, "Just take a peek over to the right." They were laying on top of the vent, so I had no air coming in here because she was taking up all the air. But, okay. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys, and I hope to see you guys next month. So if you have any questions, or if you have questions, shoot me a message. I will upload this in my YouTube channel, and it will have all of the ingredients, recipe, what I use. So if you decide that you want to recreate this project. So, okay, you guys have a great evening. Bye.